So this is a little bit out of our wheelhouse, but we wanted to report on this story as we've had a lot of people asking us to look into it. It's about a vessel belonging to the New Zealand Navy, which has sunk after hitting a reef in Samoa over the weekend. The vessel is a specialist diving and hydrographic vessel and was conducting a reef survey when they ran into the reef on Saturday night, if you can believe it. The ship was called the HMNZS Manawanoi. HMNZS stands for Her Majesty's New Zealand Ship. And she was originally a civilian vessel purchased by the New Zealand Navy in 2018. There were 75 souls on board, mainly Navy personnel, and there were also some what was reported as passengers. They're probably supernumeraries who were, part of the people doing the work for the reef survey. But they're not part of the crew. Now they all abandoned ship into life rafts. Now, as well as running aground, the ship caught fire, which caused the vessel to sink. Now, at this moment in time, we don't know if the vessel was on fire first and that caused it to run aground, or if the vessel ran aground and then caught fire. It seems more feasible that the vessel being on fire would cause it to run aground than the other way around. It's a very unusual situation. Like I said, the vessel could have been the fire could have been the cause of the vessel running aground, but we don't know that yet. Now, as you can see in the photo here, the Samoan Fire and Emergency Services staff are rescuing some of the crew of the Manawanoi. In another photo, the crew are landed on the beach after being rescued. Now, like I said, the ship was previously called the MV Edda Fon and was built in Norway and was a purpose-built vessel for the offshore market, and it had operated successfully in that market for 15 years before being purchased by the Royal New Zealand Navy. And they purchased it in 2018, and then they rebuilt the vessel and outfitted her with dive, ROV, and hydrographic systems, and of course painted the vessel grey in the traditional Navy grey paint. Now, the ship was an 85-metre or 278-foot ship. Now, according to the New Zealand Defence Force website, the ship has a crew of 39. So those other 36 people, like I said, probably supernumeraries who were working on board in some capacity, but not part of the crew. Now, all of the people on board eventually landed on the beach in Samoa after the evacuation from the ship. And according to the Samoan Fire Chief, Tanuvasa Patone, he said that the ship caught fire and sank on Sunday morning after a successful rescue. He said they were all taken to land and they were safe apart from a few individuals that had some minor injuries and who were treated on the scene and then transferred to hospital. But he said the conditions were quite rough and windy. Now, a local Samoan man who saw the ship sailing dangerously close to the reef as it ran aground said he wondered why it was so close in the first place. He said he crashed on a bommy. A bommy is a piece of reef that is a lot deeper than all of the other parts of the reef, so the waves don't break on the reef unless there's a really big swell. He said he must have cruised over that reef, thought nothing was coming, and then all of a sudden something came bang. I just don't understand what he was doing there. And he went on to say, it bewilders me as to why he was there. I know it's a scientific research boat, but he shouldn't have been that close to the reef. There's no reason to be that close to the reef, not with the amount of swells that were around. Now, the Defence Minister, Judith Collins, said it was a very sad day for the Navy. She said there will be a court of inquiry to establish exactly what had happened, but the reason for the grounding, obviously, at the moment is unknown, and it was too early to speculate. The New Zealand government paid 103 million New Zealand dollars for the ship, which is about 63.8 million US dollars. In November last year, the ship was used in a 7-week operation to conduct underwater surveys to help dispose of submerged World War II ordnance in Fiji and Vanuatu. Now, you'd think that would have been the dangerous trip to go on, right? Anyway, we'll bring you more on this as and when we get it. If you're watching and you've got more information for us, or more importantly, if anybody has any footage, video footage, or any photos, please do send them to us at news@theyachtReport.co.uk.
Thanks very much for watching this video. You've been watching a Super Yacht News clip. If you'd like to see the full unedited Super Yacht News video, you can click on the link over here. You can also find our channel links below here. And if you'd like to see more shorter videos like this one, be sure to subscribe to this channel.